real estate team. The Padres getting a win 2-0 last night over the Detroit Tigers. Nick Pivetta going 7 innings. Are currently in action. The top of the 8th right now, down 4-0 in the rubber match against Detroit. Jose Iglesias is currently up against Detroit's pitcher Olsen. And the Los Angeles Lakers evened the series last night with a 94-85 win over the Minnesota Timberwolves. The series will head back to Minnesota on Friday, with that game going at 6:30. You can hear it right here on San Diego Sports 760. Would you like to know what your home would sell for today? Get a simple text message with your home's value by texting your address to 855-600-6000. You get no phone call, just a text. Jim Patrell has the buyer. So text your address to 855-600-6000.
Two hits.
Scratching my camera, bro.
Oh!
Now it pissed me off.
Yeah, let's get it going on a Wednesday at San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John and Jim will take over then. Was about to open up the show by saying Reese Olson, who looks like he's about 12 years old, is hitting the Padres through 8 innings, but no, because Jose Iglesias is the only San Diego Padre to have a hit today, and he has 2 hits today as Reese Olson finally gets chased out of this game. Padres down 4-0, top of the 8th. We'll kind of keep you updated as we weave through the show today. It is San Diego Sports 760. We do have a fun one for you today. The coach, Kentera, is going to be jumping on at 12:30. We're hoping we timed it out perfectly. Timed out as soon as the Padres game is over. Bam! Coach Kentera is on the show with us. I like that dude. Alan Sliwa is going to be joining us because of the Los Angeles Lakers with a huge win last night. Sammy's hair is perfect today. He is just, look at him. His shirt's ironed. He looks put together. This is a different story than Monday morning when Sammy came to work. God, you're ready for Tinder pics today, Sammy. You're glowing. Lakers played good last night. We had a couple of awesome hot mic F-bombs in the game last night. I don't know. I was watching on your HBO. I don't know if the HBO stream is different from the TNT stream, but I heard you stayed logged into my house. Your HBO is my HBO. Thank you, Sammy. But I was watching on the HBO stream, and JJ had 2 F-bombs that went over, maybe 3. LeBron had an F-bomb go over. I don't know if HBO's rules are different, but all sports should be uncensored. R-rated sports all the time. I think it makes the games better. I think it makes it better. I really do. No. And also, like in game 1, it was a different team we saw in game 2. They had a little bit of that intensity. The Lakers were playing like they were ready to drop an F-bomb on a hot mic. And that's good for the Lakers. They need to have that defensive intensity in order to win games. I thought it was on full display last night. Was impressed with what I saw out of everybody in that game except the officials, who kind of stunk in the entire game. Both ways, called everything. It was brutal. And then at the end of the game, they stopped calling anything. It was brutal also. NBA officiating is rough. Through 3.5 quarters, they called everything that could possibly be called. And then the last half of the fourth quarter, they called nothing. So Lakers win game 2. That series tied up 1 game apiece. Next game is going to be Friday. Is that right? Friday. Tonight, Golden State, Houston, good one. Miami, Cleveland, good one. Orlando, Boston, probably not that good a one. But we got a couple good games coming up tonight. Oh, really? What happened there? I like some of the players on the Magic. That Paolo Banchero guy, he looks like a different human being than he was in college. College, he was a little skinnier. Like he was a little smaller. All of a sudden, he's like a linebacker out there. It's kind of fun to watch. All right, we every single day around this time, I thought something was good to happen good in the Padres. It did not. We do the big three, where Sammy Long takes us around the top stories in the world of sports. Sammy, hit the button. If you would like to stream us today, we are live on both X and YouTube. On X, it is at Fletch and Sammy. Fletch and Sammy. You can find us there. Sammy spelled Sammy, by the way. On YouTube, we are at San Diego Sports 760. At San Diego Sports 760. You can find us there. Leave a subscription. Our show is live there every day. John and Jim is live there every day. So if you want 6 hours of live local sports talk every single day, at San Diego Sports 760 on YouTube. Give us a subscription there. Sammy, where we start?
Lakers, we were just talking about it. Was last night more about the Lakers being good or the Timberwolves being bad?
I thought it was the Lakers. I actually don't think the Timberwolves played that bad of a game. Yes, there was something a little out of sync offensively, but I thought Anthony Edwards played well. His fire, his intensity is something, if I was coaching a high school basketball team, I would show nonstop Anthony Edwards film to every one of my high school players because he plays basketball the right way. He's just running the entire game. But the Lakers, when they're playing like they played last night, there's not too many teams that can do much about it.
Who has scored 117 points. You take them down to 85. That's doing something differently. I know they didn't shoot very well, but you go from in game one, they hit 21 of 43s to 5 of 25 last night. And the Lakers were just acting defensively. They were putting hands up, closing out. Just a lot of things that they were just not doing and didn't look interested in doing in game one. And I think the Lakers really met the level of physicality because the Timberwolves are a team that brings physicality night in, night out. And the Lakers had to match that.
And you nailed it yesterday. Jaden McDaniels, who went off for like 25 points in the first game, was like 11 of 13 from the field. Something outrageous. He went 3 of 11 last night. Couldn't make a shot. No rhythm. Story number 2. It's hard to say he's not. As of right now, Nick Pivetta, the way he gets up, and it feels like he's always in control. And you can't say that about other Padres. I was watching a little bit of Kyle Hart this morning. And look, Kyle Hart did what you want Kyle Hart to do. He got through 4 to third innings, gave up 2 runs, like put the Padres in a position where they should be able to win. The fact that the Padres just can't hit right now because they don't have half their position players. But the way Nick Pivetta had control of the game last night, the way he kind of stomps around the mound, psychologically, it plays into that. If you're in the batter's box, watching a pitcher work as quick and as deliberately as Nick Pivetta does. And when he's throwing strikes, when he's getting ground balls, look, he's fantastic. He's been the ace of this team so far. What's Pivetta, 4-1? He's on a Cy Young pace. Yeah, it's not really a 4-year, $55 million deal. It's more like a 2-year deal. I do think that's where the rotation ends up. It ends up being, if everyone stays healthy, which is a big if, you go Cease, King in some order at the top, Pivetta, Darvish in some order in the middle, and then you close it with Vasquez. I feel like I'm pretty comfortable with that 5. I really am. I think Darvish might be your 5 at that point. Like, I honestly don't know.
Aaron Rodgers. If he's going to sign. If not, kick rocks. Do you agree with this? Is this how you would approach the draft?
Wait, this was Snoop Dogg?
Snoop Dogg. He was on First Take this morning.
Snoop Dogg said about Aaron Rodgers. Sorry, I was fixing something over here. Say it one more time.
Snoop Dogg said about Aaron Rodgers, he's a diehard Pittsburgh fan, amid all the reports of Shedeur maybe going there, Jackson Dart in the draft tomorrow night. Quote, if he's going to sign. If not, kick rocks.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg's right. Snoop Dogg is 100% right, and I think he embodies a lot of what Pittsburgh Steelers fans all across the country feel like. I actually grew up, one of my best buddies, who I text with every single day, is a diehard Pittsburgh Steelers fan. He wants nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers. Absolutely nothing. He would rather restart, but he's also in the Fire Tomlin camp, so it's a little tricky. But Steeler fans are in a tough spot.
Steelers fans
right
do
now.
not like Mike Tomlin. It's odd.
Not right now. Look, Steelers fans love Mike Tomlin. Don't get me wrong, but they loved what he was 7-8 years ago when they were actual contenders each and every single year. Not where they are now, where it's like, yeah, they're playoff teams, but they're not actual contenders. There's a big difference in the NFL.
Clearly, the Mike Tomlin and them are keeping Aaron Rodgers at an arm's distance. You hear all this coming out. We love Aaron Rodgers. Very productive meeting. Except we're not going to sign you until after the draft because we want to see who we get tomorrow.
Exactly. They want to see who falls to them.
This draft is, I'm so excited for it. Cam Ward going 1. That's all likelihood being reported right now. And then so all the reports is Shedeur, the next quarterback needy team. You have the Giants, but they're probably not taking a quarterback at 3. You can have Abdul Carter. There's not really a consensus number 3 overall pick. And then the Saints at 9. The Saints, for all reporting and being said, they do not like Shedeur Sanders. They wouldn't take him at pick 40, which they have in the draft. So Todd McShay yesterday on Colin Cowherd was talking about how Shedeur Sanders could go either 3 to the Giants if they surprise everyone, or it could go a soft landing spot of 21 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. But they said Mike Tomlin likes him, but do they take him there? The best thing, the way this draft is going to play out tomorrow is, does Dart and these guys fall? All signs point to that Daboll really likes Dart. Do they fall past him on 21, past the Steelers? And then you're going to have a bum rush of the Browns, of the Jets, of the Giants, of all these teams trying to get back up into the first round for that 5th-year option, a la Lamar Jackson when he was drafted at the 32nd pick, to try to get Dart or Shedeur, one of these guys. It's going to be very interesting.
I'm excited for tomorrow night. It's going to be fun. All right, we'll take our first break of the day. When we come back, we'll give you an update on what's happening out in Detroit right now. It ain't good. We'll talk about that coming up next. It's San Diego Sports 760.
San Diego Sports Traffic.
This report is sponsored by the Jim Buttrell Real Estate Team.
There's a South 5 lane closure, La Costa to Lucadia. You're backed out from Poinsettia. North 805 before H. Debris, including a bed frame, 2 left lanes. North 5 at Basilone Road, minivan fire off to the right shoulder. Fire department in that right lane. Mark Zegan, San Diego traffic.
Would you like to know what your home would sell for today? Get a simple text message with your home's value by texting your address to 855-600-6000. You'll get no phone call, just a text. Jim Buttrell has the buyers. Simply text your address to 855-600-6000.
Hey, this is Rich from Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, and I know firsthand the crippling pain associated with lower body joint pain. I've torn knee ligaments. I had a back surgery that ended my NFL journey. Every day felt like a battle. Simple pleasures like just playing with the kids or walking down to the bay in Pacific Beach were overshadowed by constant searing pain. I spent years chasing remedies that simply didn't cut it, and then I discovered the Good Feet store. For over 6 years now, I wear their custom-fit arch supports, and they've helped me experience a life with less pain. Imagine that. Now I'm able to work, play, and just simply be there for my family without pain. And with locations in San Marcos, Carmel Mountain, and Mission Valley, their help is never far away from you. Come in and try before you buy at the Good Feet store and embrace the comfort, energy, and performance that your life deserves. Pain relief could be on the horizon for you at the Good Feet store.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's going to audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's RAMP.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, I'm Drew Scott. And I'm Jonathan Scott. We've spent decades in home buying, building, and renovating, but a home is so much more than four walls and a roof. It's where families grow and find community. Yet so many families across the country face challenges in accessing affordable home ownership. Home is the key to connection, well-being, and stability. That's why we support Habitat for Humanity's work to make home ownership more equitable and inclusive to all. Visit and support at habitat.org/home is the key.
Hey, it's Fletch for Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty, and my friend Gary Cooper. Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty will show you the ways to sell, pay off debt, upgrade, or downsize your home and have a manageable monthly payment on your new home. Call them today at 858-376-1299. Call Gary to get the answer to why you call 5 different companies and get 5 different answers when it comes to mortgages. Call Gary and find out how he can cut through the smoke and mirrors when it comes to the shell games that the different companies will play. Call Gary Cooper today at 858-376-1299. That's 858-376-1299.
The new iHeart app just looks better.
The best feature of a car radio on the app.
It's the presets.
Super easy.
And thank you for keeping it free.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio. It's SDFC Midweek Live. Get the latest news and analysis from our home team, San Diego FC.
LAFC, LA Galaxy, Real Salt Lake, Seattle Sounders. What do those 4 clubs have in common?
SDFC has beaten all 4 of them. Plus a preview of the next matchup on the pitch. Listen tonight at 6. Hosted by Darren Smith on your exclusive home of San Diego FC.
San Diego Sports. 760. America's finest sports station.
San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock tonight at 6 o'clock. San Diego Sports 760. It's SDFC Midweek Live. Here from the head coach, Mikey Vadas, as well as interviews with players and coaches. Find out the latest club and MLS information hosted by Darren Smith. SDFC Midweek Live every single Wednesday, 6 o'clock right here on your home for SDFC, San Diego Sports 760. All right, the update on the Padres out in Detroit. It is now the bottom of the 8th inning. Padres down 4-0. Morahone gave up a couple runs in this game. Kyle Hart gave up a couple of runs in this game. And until the top of the 8th inning, the Padres were being one hit by a third-year player by the name of Reese Olson, and it just got even worse. Padres just gave up a home run. All right, so it looks like it's going to be a loss out there today in Detroit. We're going to shift focus here a little bit and go to the NFL draft. If you're looking at the news of the last couple of days, it's kind of hard to decipher what's real and what's BS. There's a story out today that the San Francisco 49ers, for example, are drafting at 11. And at 11, a lot of people thought, Niners fans like myself, that they were going to go offensive line because that was the biggest problem they had last year. Well, there's a huge smokescreen out right now, if you believe it, that the 49ers are only worried about the defense going into this draft, and they're fine with their offensive line. I call BS. I think they're still looking offensive line, but that's kind of the stories that happen early on in draft week. And so you kind of look through the name of the best available. That's where I like to go on ESPN. They have it. And you start looking at the list and you start to realize, who are we not talking nearly enough about? Like, there's this kid out of Marshall. You remember the Matthew McConaughey movie, We Are Marshall? A great movie, but when's the last time you heard about a Marshall kid going to the pros who is flying up everybody's draft boards right now? Is that a smokescreen? Is it not? His name's Mike Green. He's an edge rusher. Edge rusher is a huge position in the NFL draft. But is that something that we should actually be concerned about, or is he just flying up the draft boards for something else? Sammy, how do you lock into this? Are you only looking at Adam Schefter stuff? Are you looking at everybody and seeing what intel they all have and trying to decide for yourself? Because it spins me in a freaking tornado every year.
Well, I love my guy Mel. I look at them all. I mean, McShay's always tapped in. It sucks that McShay.
Don't you feel like Mel Kiper knows a lot about the prospects, but he doesn't necessarily know it all from the team side?
Right, Schefter's got the locks for the team. Jordan Schultz is a great reporter. I always loved it sucks that we don't get Todd McShay on ESPN anymore, because I love the Mel and Todd battles that we'd always see on draft night or leading up, where they'd be arguing the whole time. No, this one's going to be super fun. It's my biggest thing with the draft is, I think it really starts at 3 with the Giants. Where do they go? Do they take the best available player in Abdul Carter, even though they don't really need a pass rusher? Do they reach for a quarterback? Does that kind of start? If someone takes a dart or is Shedeur Sanders high? Maybe there's a team that we're looking at that might surprise us, or our team trades up and gets someone. Does this mean that there's a rush on QBs, or do people just wait? Because if, let's say, Dart goes to 9 to the Saints and the Steelers take Shedeur at 21, are teams gonna be jumping back up to get a Milroe, to get a Tyler Shucks, because they don't want to get outed on a quarterback? I think that's going to be a real tell in this draft. And then again, we were talking about it yesterday, but the running back situation. We've seen a thing this morning. Peter Schrager did a last-minute mock draft. Genty going 5 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. That seems crazy to me from a team that needs a lot of help, that you drafted Travis Etienne a couple of years ago, and now you're just completely giving up on him. But how are these teams going to value the big name, or are they going to value a better product on the field?
ESPN has this, PFF has this, Pro Football Focus, but they do best available regardless of team. So they take the teams who are drafting out of it, and they just give you the best order power ranking style of people in the draft. And you talk about a Jackson Dart and a Shedeur Sanders. Any guesses on where those two guys fall? Both rankings, they're in similar positions.
Where?
Mid-30s. Like Shedeur Sanders at 35. Jackson Dart's at 39. Cam Ward is up there. He's at number 8. But think about franchise-changing players is what I would look for in the draft. There's not that many of them in every single draft, and some of them fall late, and they're the diamonds in the rough. But this year, I do think we have one in Abdul Carter. He is sitting as the best player available. There's a chance he doesn't go till 3. Most likely, he doesn't go till 3. That's where things get a little wacky in the draft. So Abdul Carter's 1, Travis Hunter's 2, Ashton Janty's 3, Jalen Walker out of Georgia, the linebacker who had a phenomenal year at Georgia last year. He's the 4th best available. Out of Michigan, Mason Graham, 5th best. Tyler Warren, the tight end from Penn State. And then Colston Lovehan from Michigan. He's the tight end out of Michigan. The other tight end they're talking about going early. Those are your top 7 in terms of best players available in this draft. There's a chance some of them don't even go in the top 10.
Well, and how do they value defense? Because we've got reports today, the big defensive tackle Mason Graham out of Michigan, who was widely expected to be the 5th overall pick from Jacksonville, just kind of a surefire, really good player, was a
defensive tackle, big boy.
Big
plays
dude.
Up the middle, excellent run stopper.
And as well, also a really good pass rusher, had some really big games against good competition, Ohio State, USC, all that stuff. Now,
6'4", 296.
Now he's dropping. They have him going 13 to Miami right now. How do we value defensive players? Because, I mean, remember the Micah Parsons draft? Remember when Micah Parsons, everyone said, this guy is, it's ironic that Abdul Carter also went to Penn State, but Micah Parsons, this guy's a surefire pick, but no one valued defense. And it took the Cowboys getting to 11 for the first defensive player to be taken. Are we seeing a shift where teams are just going offense and they're going to force the issue? To your point about Dart and these guys ranked in the 30s, Cam Ward's ranked 8, but do you put a value on the quarterback? I mean, hell, Malachi Stark is safety out of Georgia, one of the most talented players in the draft, and he's not rumored to go till like 26, 27 because we don't put a value on safety like we used to in the NFL.
How about Will Johnson, the cornerback out of Michigan?
Yeah, he's at 20, which is crazy to me because he was
biggest lockdown corner of the year last year.
He was a shutdown. They wouldn't throw. The only reason Michigan was in games was because Will Johnson was there. So I'm excited for this one. What's your number one storyline tomorrow that you'll be looking for besides obviously the Niners pick?
It's what I'm looking for is Shedeur Sanders, because I personally do not have him as a first round quarterback. I don't even know that I necessarily have Cam Ward there, but obviously I take Cam Ward out of everything because he's already going to the Titans. That's done. I want to see if teams, the positive stuff we've heard about Shedeur, the negative stuff we've heard about Shedeur, one of them is going to win out tomorrow night. And I have a feeling it's going to be the negative stuff. I think he might fall a lot lower than we think. Look, I honestly think that there was intentionality behind him pulling out of the draft more so than just having sponsorships in his living room. I think there's a chance he doesn't go day 1. There's a chance Shedeur is falling. Maybe first and second, both in the same day.
No,
or am I getting confused?
Just the first round.
Just the first
then
round.
Second
tomorrow.
and third, then 4 through 7.
Right. So there's a chance he's not going on day 1 at all. Maybe the Steelers are taking him. Maybe that's why they've been kind of keeping Aaron Rodgers away. But I just don't know if Mike Tomlin wants the headache of having Shedeur Sanders there.
I think he is going to Pittsburgh because we've heard too much the last 2 weeks about.
Every year you hear a lot about something. Every year something goes the other way.
The difference between people want to make the comparison to Will Levis. But Will Levis, what we heard was originally going into it was he was maybe a day 1 pick, probably going day 2. And then all of a sudden they fall in love with him at the pro day. He's super jacked. He's got like no body fat on him. So all the scouts are falling in love with him, saying this guy could be there. And we're hearing he could go pick 4 and he falls. Shedeur is kind of the other way. Shedeur had all this press. I mean, there was talk that he'd be the number 1 pick for a minute there when this whole came out. Was it him or was it Ward? Then Ward kind of run out, and now we're hearing about he's too cocky in interviews with coaches. He puts teams off, all this stuff, and it makes me feel like teams are trying to get him to drop. We hear a lot about this with. Remember Josh Allen? It was they went and found tweets of him from when he was 12. And are we sure that the Buffalo Bills didn't put that out to get him to 7?
They probably did.
They probably did. So we hear this coming into the draft. Tomorrow's gonna be electric.
Yeah, I'm also curious. Like, is there any shot Jackson Dart goes above Shedeur Sanders?
Well, also Jackson Dart.
If they both go tomorrow, is there a chance Jackson Dart?
I think he's a real chance he goes 9 at New Orleans, because Jackson Dart, really good player, but you have the knock of the RPO system. His knock is that Lane Kiffin's system is really quarterback friendly, just like Lincoln Riley's at USC, and it's a lot of quick hitters, not a lot of long time decision making, just kind of get it out of your hands like that. But Dart played at USC. Then he went to Ole Miss, played some high-level competition. He played the most high-level competition of even Ward and Shedeur over their whole career, because Ward really didn't have to do it until he went to Miami last year. Dart, I think, is going to fly up boards. I think Dart's going to be a pretty damn good player in there.
I also am looking forward to seeing if it's a BS about the running backs. Because what was the last report yesterday from James Palmer?
It was that
5 in the top 40.
5 running backs to go in the top 40.
So if those are the 5, it's Ashton JT obviously is going to be the first one. Omarion Hampton out of North Carolina, Travion Henderson out of Ohio State. Ohio State had another one.
Quinshon Judkins out of Ohio State.
Caleb Johnson, Iowa. Cam Scatterbo, Arizona State.
Yeah.
That's the order that most people would have them in. But is there actually going to be 5 running backs?
The only way that
40?
happens, though, is if the Jags take Genty at 5. Because then you have running back needy teams in the Raiders, the Bears, and the Broncos. If the Jags drop him, the first one's going to be Genty. All signs point that the Raiders are going to take him. Is that a smokescreen? If he's still there, do the Bears? It's a lot long reported they're getting Tyler Warren or some offensive line help. They're going to need the running backs to go early, because, I mean, if you're sitting in the back end of the first round and you can get them day 2 and only Genty's gone and you have 5 guys that you really like, why would you reach on a running back in day 1?
All right, Coach Kentera is coming up next. We assume that the Padres game is going to be over by the time Coach jumps on with us, so we'll react to what happened out in Detroit today, coming up next with Coach John Kentera. And yes, the Padres game is over. We're talking with Coach coming up next.
Hey guys, it's John and Jim again for the all-new Hamul Casino and Resort the Players Place.
Join Hamul Casino for Sunset Trivia every Tuesday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. and compete for prizes at your favorite casino. Plus, enjoy 50% off classic sushi, nigiri, hand rolls, and any of their featured ramen bowls every Tuesday through Thursday. Now through May 23rd, exclusions do apply.
They also have endless dining, Jim, 5 nights a week, including at Tony Gwynn's, where they've gone over the top. It's the all-new Hamul Casino and Resort the Players Place.
All of those notifications can wait. This is your friendly lunchtime reminder from Kaiser Permanente that no matter how busy you are, it's important to stay active. A lunchtime walk is a great place to start. Kaiser Permanente San Diego has a variety of options to help you live healthier, including online tools, mobile apps, video appointments, and 29 medical facilities. You can count on us. Visit kp.org/San Diego. Kaiser Permanente, for all that is San Diego, for all that is you.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt?
I owe the IRS $37,000.
Get ready for a toll-free hotline. Take advantage of new IRS tax forgiveness programs that may protect you from IRS collection agencies. They have the power to garnish your wages, put liens on your property, and levy your bank account. Civic Tax Relief can help protect you from the IRS.
Civic Tax Relief basically represented me against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, I didn't owe the IRS anything.
Find out about the Fresh Start program that is now available through Civic Tax Relief. Civic Tax Relief's special tax hotline can help you discover all the relief programs available for free.
I would recommend anyone who has a tax problem to contact Civic Tax Relief.
Just call 800-506-5803. 800-506-5803. Don't wait. Call now. 800-506-5803. 800-506-5803.
Doja Cat, Gwen Stefani, David Guetta, Meghan Trainor, and more. Wingo Tango presented by Fiji Airways. May 10th, Huntington City Beach. All ticket prices go up May 2nd, so get yours now at AXS.com.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else, and we can give you access to those potential customers more cost-effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. Get started today. by calling 844-844-iHeart. That's 844-844-iHeart.
Get ready to serve up some excitement with Major League Volleyball. Your San Diego Mojo are here at Viejas Arena, so you can get close to all the volleyball action. Get tickets starting at $15 at letsgomojo.com. That's letsgomojo.com.
Oh, by the way, Ivan's no longer on the project. His wife got a new job, so they're moving across the country.
Robin's top researcher is deviating to a new market. This isn't standard.
And now we're short-staffed. Who's going to finish all these projects?
She needs a cluster of new data analysts, and there's no margin for error.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
San Diego Sports. Now.
This report is sponsored by the Jim Buttrell Real Estate Team. Padres have lost their series against the Detroit Tigers, going 1-2 over the last 3 games. They lost 6-0. Torres homered to center in the first inning. And then in the Lakers beat the Minnesota Timberwolves 94-85 last night, evening the series against Minnesota. They'll be back in action on Friday, getting going at 6:30. You can hear that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. Would you like to know what your home would sell for today? Get a simple text message with your home's value by texting your address to 855-600-6000. You'll get no phone call, just a text. Jim Buttrell has the buyers. Simply text your address to 855-600-6000.
Hey, this is radio station WSKEE. We're taking calls on the wish line, making your wacky wishes come true. Hello?
Well, this is radio station San Diego Sports 760. We will take your calls, not on the wacky wish line, but on the Coach Kentera line. What's going on, Coach? How are you today?
Oh, Fletch, doing well. I'm doing a lot better than our San Diego Padres. They go to the clubhouse there at Comerica Park and get ready to get cleaned up and head home after a tough 2-4 road trip.
Yeah, it has been a tough road trip. 2 series losses in a row for the first time this season. Reese Olson, they made him look like Cy Young out there today, Coach. I don't know. What'd you see from the Padres' approach, or is it just injuries having half their lineup in the clubhouse twiddling their thumbs while they're playing baseball?
Well, I think I saw a little bit of a tired ball club today, to be honest with you. And I don't want to take anything away from Reese Olson because really right from the get-go, Fletch, he come out and was dealing, getting ahead of hitters, changing speeds. And, you know, he really kind of cruised through the first, 6 innings. And, you know, they got him out after, 7 1/3, I think it was. And he pitched good. I mean, he pitched very, very well. He's pitched well at Comerica all year long. He's had a little bit of a struggle on the road early, but I thought he did a heck of a job today. But, you know, the Padre lineup, we can sit here and talk about it. But, again, to win a championship or, you know, get into the playoffs, you got to have a deep system. And, you know, I think that's why a lot of us guys that, you know, really pay attention to what's going on in baseball figure, hey, you know, the Dodgers, not only do they have a bunch of stars and high-paid stars at the big league level, they got a great farm system. They can go down there, they can bring guys up, and they got the great depth with the Padres and some of the other, Arizona and the Giants. They don't have those deep farm systems with all that talent. So that's why over 162 games, the Dodgers definitely have an advantage. But I'll tell you, you get into the playoffs and going against the Dodgers, you got as good a chance as anybody. I mean, the Dodgers are not unbeatable. I can tell you that right now.
Coach, so the Padres played 2 series against the Cubs, 1 against the Astros, and then 1 here against Detroit. They're 1-3 in those series when they kind of upped the competition. Do you think there's something to that, or do you think this is just maybe early?
Well, you know, I think, overall, I mean, Nick Pivetta threw a heck of a game last night. And, you know, Sammy, the old theory in baseball, you know, you're going to win 60, you're going to lose 60. What are you going to do in the other 42? And, you know, I think you have ebbs and flows. You win 4 out of 5, you drop 3 out of 4, and you got to get back on the horse and get going. So, you know, I was a little disappointed today. I thought coming off of that great performance by Pivetta, I know Kyle Hart has not pitched well in road games, and you know his numbers weren't kind to him today either. But he did go 4 1/3, but you know gave up a couple of homers and you know gave up some runs. But I did see at times him pitching a little bit better. But again, you got guys in and out of the lineup, and you know they'll bounce back. I mean, I'm not sure when Jackson Merrill's coming back and Cronenworth and Lockridge. We'll know a little bit more on Friday when Mike Schilt meets with the media, and because a lot of people don't realize this. Cronenworth was on the road trip, and he's been working out lightly. But Jackson Merrill and Lockridge, they didn't even make the trip. They're back here just trying to get those ailing hamstrings ready to go. But I don't think we're going to see Jackson probably for, I would think, about a week, and Lockridge maybe a little bit after that. So, they've got a lot of things to sort out, but it's all part of the Major League Baseball season. What I saw today and what I saw in this series, and even in the Houston series to a degree, in the 3 games in Detroit, they were 2 for 16 with runners in scoring position. They were 0 for 5 today. They had chances today with runners in scoring position, even though they only had 2 hits, and Jose Iglesias had both of them. They were 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position and 2 for 16 in the series in Detroit. So you got to do better than that on the road.
Coach Kentera joining us today on San Diego Sports 760. If you want to keep up with the coach, just search San Diego Sports Talk on YouTube. You'll find him there. He's updating that almost on a daily basis. Coach, the Padres, they got the day off tomorrow. Then they'll play again on Friday against Tampa back at home. And I brought up the numbers a couple days ago. I'll have to add up the last 2 days for what's been going on since then. But their numbers on the road versus at home are so starkly different. And you just mentioned one of them, the runners in scoring position. At what point does that become a trend for this team where it's on the road versus at home? Do you need to wait still a couple months before you can even really put that into mental work? Or is that, as of right now, obviously this team is just much better at home?
Well, you know what's funny, Fletch? If you take a look at last year, I mean, they were unbelievable on the road. Their numbers were great on the road. And this year it's just kind of a reverse pivot so far. And again, it's early. I think probably by the end of May, we can take a look at those numbers and see if they've balanced out a little bit. But yeah, swinging the bat with runners in scoring position, starting pitching on the road, the ERA has been very, very high. But you put them in Petco Park, and they've been the pitching staff's been absolutely unbelievable. And the Padres have hit very, very well with runners in scoring position at Petco. But again, last year, their numbers on the road were really good, and right now they're not trending very well.
Coach, our Lakers even up the series last night, 1-1. How are you seeing the outlook of that, and what were you impressed with last night? What do you think they need to get better at?
Well, I was impressed after them getting pushed around like they were on roller skates in Game 1. I thought they came back last night and really gave it to Minnesota. I mean, they were very, very physical basketball game last night. I'll tell you this. I would not want to be a referee in the NBA. I mean, you're out there for 2.5 hours. You got 10 guys on the court along with 2 coaches on the sideline just yelling at you the whole night. Naz Reid was losing his mind last night. And, I mean, he was committing, fouls that anybody could call. You didn't even have to be a referee, and he was arguing about that. But I thought the Lakers played very, very well. I thought they took their foot off the gas a little bit in the fourth quarter. You and I talked, actually, and I agree with you. You were saying that they played a little too much isolation ball, and I agree with that. A lot of standing around. Guys were standing in the corner rather than, making sharp cuts. But I'll tell you what, I thought Doncic had a hell of a game last night. Not so much on scoring. I think he ended up with 31, if I'm not mistaken. But he is able to drive, change the pace, change the direction, jump stop. Guys were cutting to the basket. I mean, he looked like a magician with that basketball last night. And this series is going to go a lot deeper than I thought. Minnesota's playing very well. Julius Randle just really tough to stop. They got a great team, let alone the Ant-Man. He'll get his points. This is going to be a great series, and I think the Lakers will end up winning it. But they better not go into any games thinking that they're just going to walk in and get an easy W. They got to get one of these 2 games in Minnesota.
I like what I saw from JJ Redick last night, Coach. And I'll be honest, going into this postseason, it's not like I'm not a Lakers fan like you or Sammy, but one of my biggest concerns about the Lakers was the fact that JJ Redick hasn't been to the postseason before. But we saw a huge adjustment both in the personality, the physicality, and the defensive ability of the Lakers from Game 1 to Game 2. I think JJ Redick did a hell of a job getting the guys ready, and then JJ Redick sensing that moment in the game that you were just talking about, and he uses that moment to go out and spew a bunch of F-bombs on national TV. But I was pretty impressed with what I saw from JJ Redick last night. I don't know about you, Coach.
Well, Fletch, I'll be honest with you, JJ Redick. I guess Oh, I don't want to say I bit my tongue when he got the job, but I'm going, well, how's this going to work out? And, I really like Frank Vogel. I thought he did a really nice job. And again, you're always dealing with the LeBron James situation. How much input does LeBron have? And, how are head coaches and assistants going to work there? And I thought Frank Vogel did a very nice job. I like Darvin Ham. I think as a person, but he kind of drove me crazy as a coach. So when they brought in J.J. Redick, I'm kind of going, God, how's this going to work? He's doing a podcast with LeBron James. He just got done playing. He has no coaching experience. He's been, commentating and watching basketball games. Tell you what, and I was never a fan of his when he was at Duke. He's one of the most hated players in the history of Duke University, by the way, by the fans in the ACC. So I was never really sold on this guy. But I'll tell you what, I think he's done one hell of a job with the Lakers, considering everything he had to learn on the fly. He hired some really good assistants, guys that have been around for a long period of time that could help him out in certain situations. I think he done a great job. And the thing that I like, he's just not some LA guy, coach and trying to be cool, good-looking guy, but he brings an edge. And I like that because I think that's something the Laker organization has been missing for a long time, is that edge.
Coach, pivoting to another NBA series, Clippers and Nuggets 1-1. Where do you kind of assess that series? Kawhi Leonard been unreal with 39 points the other night. How would you kind of assess Kawhi and their chances?
Well, I think, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't he 15 and 19 shooting the basketball the other night?
That's exactly right.
Ridiculous number. I'll tell you what, Sammy, the Clippers are a hell of a lot better than I thought they were going to be, about midway through the season. Kawhi and I like that team a lot. I don't like them as much as I like the Lakers, but Norman Powell, he got a little hot the other night under the collar, and glad he didn't get ejected out of the basketball game. I've always been a big fan of him since I called some of his championship games down at Lincoln High School. But no, Ty Lue's done a great job. That series is great. I think anybody that loves basketball, you want to watch Denver because of the Joker. My brother actually lives in Fort Collins. He actually sent me a black T-shirt with the Joker's picture on it. How about that?
All right, Coach. Well, thank you for your time today. We appreciate you each and every week. We'll talk to you next week at San Diego Sports Talk on YouTube. You can find the coach there giving daily updates on Padres, the world of sports, everything he does, especially everything he does right here in San Diego. Thank you for your time, Coach.
Hey, Fletch, always a pleasure. You can tell on this Wednesday I'm pretty fired up today. I'm a little ticked off about our Padres, though.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on there. They can't hit. And when you can't hit, you can't win. So we'll see if they can fix it when they get home. Thank you, Coach.
Hey, be well, boys. Thanks.
All right, there he goes, Coach Kentera. Love having him on the show every single week. We'll talk to him next Thursday. We moved him up a day this week because of the NFL draft tomorrow, but always good to chat with the coach. It's San Diego Sports 760. We'll take a quick break. When we return, long shots. We need a winner tonight. Sammy's going to provide one for us. Long shots coming up next. San Diego Sports 760.
San Diego Sports Traffic.
This report is sponsored by the San Diego International Airport.
The lane closure on the South 5 from La Costa to Lucadia will back you up from Poinsettia. Caltrans also has the Carmel Creek on-ramp from eastbound 56 closed. I'm Mark Zegan, San Diego Traffic.
The first phase of the new Terminal 1 at San Diego International Airport opens this fall. In addition to a new airport experience, the roads around the airport are changing. Please pay attention to roadway signage and drive safely.
The Burrito Deal is back at Sombrero. 5 to choose from, and now featuring our latest favorite, the Buffalo Cali, plus chips and a drink for one great price. Stop by, drive through, or get the app.
We cater too.
Here's an important tip from iHeartRadio Earth. Safe driving saves money and lives. Aggressive driving like speeding, rapid acceleration, and sudden braking wastes gas and rarely gets you to your destination faster. It can lower your gas mileage by up to 30% on highways and 40% in stop-and-go traffic. So, slow down. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. For more sustainable living tips or to take action in your own community, visit iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
Is credit card debt ruining your life? Did you know you have a right to settle that debt for much less than you owe? DebtBlue has helped people just like you resolve millions of dollars of high-interest credit card debt. They can help with payment relief, the burden of rising inflation, and have a large portion of your debt wiped clean. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, a free 10-minute phone call could save you thousands. Discover how to reduce or completely resolve your credit card debt. In fact, we're so sure that we can reduce your debt that we offer the Debt Blue Success Guarantee. We don't get paid unless your debt gets reduced or resolved, so there's absolutely no risk to call. For your free debt resolution plan, call 800-375-1158. That's 800-375-1158. The call is free. The consultation is free. The more you owe, the more you can save. Call now. 800-375-1158. 800-375-1158.
It's football season, San Diego. Mexican star Irving Chucky Lozano and San Diego FC are back at home Saturday, April 26th against Western Conference rival Real Salt Lake. 10,000 rally towels will be given away at the match, courtesy of Palomar. From the unforgettable tailgate experience to the roar of the crowd, you don't want to miss the city's next historic sports moment. Visit sandiegofc.com/tickets to secure your seats today.
Autism isn't just one thing, it's many things. Autism is recognizing our strengths and not being defined by our struggles. It's meeting challenges, big and small, and inspiring a more equitable and inclusive future. Autism is being accepted and loved for exactly who we are. For resources and to support our mission, go to autismsociety.org. The Autism Society of America, celebrating 60 years.
For more information about contests on this station, go to sportssd.com/rules.
San Diego Sports 760. With Cox Internet and Mobile, the price of your plan won't go up for 3 years. Restrictions apply. Visit cox.com/value. Dateline, Minneapolis. Friday night, the series moves to the Twin Cities for Game 3 between the Lakers
into the front court. Alley-oop to LeBron for a circus dunk.
and the Timberwolves. Lakers playoff game day starts at 6:15 with a 6:30 tip-off on your exclusive home of Lakers postseason basketball. San Diego Sports 760, America's finest sports station.
I get up around 7, get out of bed around 9, and I don't worry about nothing, no, because worry's a waste of my time.
San Diego Sports 760. It's the Fletch Zone. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today, and we got some huge news from iHeart. We've just been named the 2025 Podcast Company of the Year by the Webby Awards, also known as the Oscars of the Internet, snagging 14 wins from iHeart, and we couldn't be prouder. Shout out to the International Academy of Digital Arts and Sciences for this incredible honor. You can find all those award-winning podcasts on the free iHeart Radio app. Go check them out now. And hey, why don't we make the Fletch Zone an award-winning podcast coming up in 2025? That sounds pretty good to me. I don't know about you.
Hell
Sam.
yeah, I'm with that.
Add us to your presets. Go on over to the free iHeart Radio app, search San Diego Sports 760, add it to your presets. Then search the Fletch Zone, add
Number
it to your
one
presets.
on the presets to be beautiful.
That would be
Then our
beautiful.
bosses get very happy.
That'd be ideal. You know, we're not begging you for much as I look directly into the camera, but we're begging you for this one. Add us to your presets. Is this creepy?
It's a little creepy.
Add us to your presets.
Yeah, the eyes are a little alarming to those watching on the stream right now.
Add us to your presets. We sure would appreciate it. Over John and Jim. Okay.
Let them know about it too.
All right, it is San Diego Sports 760. Thank you for being here today. Every single day around 12:45, we do a little something called long shots. 2 weeks ago, if you were listening, made you a bunch of money. Last week, if you were listening, this week, if you've been listening,
We had a tough night last night.
We're gonna turn it around right now. Sammy, hit that button.
Let's see. Underdogs? Nah, that's old. Those with a less than good chance of winning? Too wordy. Wait, got it. It's time for Sammy's long shots.
If you would like to use the same platform we use, we're using Prize Picks. You can use promo code Fletch, get a $50 bonus when you play your first $5 entry. Obviously, you don't have to do this at all. This is just daily fantasy sports. Sammy and I like to talk about it. We're throwing some hot takes around. So, Sammy, where do you want to go today?
We have an NBA parlay tonight. We have 3 games going on. So thought we'd lock in there. So first one, Boston in Orlando. Orlando played this one actually pretty close the first game. They got away at the end there, but Orlando kind of came to play and maybe even a little disrespected in the series. The Celtics should win the series pretty easily, but Magic are a pretty decent team. Jason Tatum, though, questionable to play tonight, may not go. I don't care if he plays or he doesn't. Peyton Pritchard just named 6th man of the year, more than 12 points. He's going to need to step up tonight. Even if Jason Tatum's playing, I think he's a little hurt and could take a backseat. And the Celtics have so much depth, they can afford to take a backseat. They can afford to do this. I think Peyton Pritchard becomes a lot bigger part of the offense. I think he gets a lot more minutes tonight, hits a few big threes. I think 12 points is actually too low of a number. I think he hits this pretty easily. All right, heading to our second game, Miami and Cleveland. Tyler Herro, more than 7 3-pointers attempted.
How'd you say his name?
Tyler Herro. Oh yeah. We had a whole debate last week.
Are we confident about Herro?
Tyler Herro.
I'm confident about
Tyler Herro, more than 7 3-pointers attempted. They're likely playing from behind in this game. In terms of Miami, I think Miami actually puts up a lot bigger fight in this one against Cleveland. It was a tough draw Friday night, playing in the play-in, a do-or-die game, then turning around, playing the number 1 seed in the East. They were ready to go. Crowd was rocking. I think it's actually a pretty tight game tonight. Miami might be able to pick one off, not calling it, but I think that this is going to be a pretty tight game towards the end. Tyler Herro, more than 7 3-pointers attempted. Herro does step up in big moments. This is a Miami team I think is going to go down without a fight. Bam Adebayo played in NBA Finals. Andrew Wiggins, Tyler Herro, all these guys on this team have played in big games before. I don't think they're going to be too shocked to go into Cleveland in game 2, try to pick one off and take it back to Miami.
If this is a winner tonight, and if Tyler Herro clutches up and really leads us to victory here, would you be willing to learn and perform the song Hero by Gabriel Iglesias? I don't think that's his name. The singer.
If it wins, I'll do it?
Yeah, if it wins. Write or learn and perform the song Hero. Would you be my hero, baby? And sing it on tomorrow's show.
Free.
Well, it'd be nice if we won some money while you're at it.
Yeah. I'll pay people to do that.
Sounds good. Next.
All right. Then we're heading to the night game. So Golden State, Houston, very tight defensive contest last time.
Steph Curry with the shot, boy.
That was pretty low scoring game. The formula was there for the Houston Rockets. That is what they had to do, had to win. Let that one get away. I think that's a bad loss for Houston. I expect them to respond tonight. They're going to need to win. If they want a shot to win the series, they need to get this game in Houston, because going back to the Bay, the chances of them getting 2 there are very slight. But I think we see a little bit more scoring tonight. Kind of a feel-out game, game 1. The Rockets are number 1 in defense. But so on both sides, I think Amen Thompson, who had 8 points for Houston this last game, becomes a lot bigger part of the offense. We're going more than 13 points. Fred VanVleet took like 12 to 13 threes on the night. I think he takes a little bit of a backseat. Dylan Brooks taking a lot. It was the 2 veterans on the team. It was Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet were taking way too many shots. Get this to your most talented player's hands if you're Houston. Get it to Jabari Smith, get and Jalen Green, Amen Thompson. Let the young guns get after it. Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks, if they want to add in and be a more defensive presence, that's fine. I think Amen Thompson eclipses 13 points tonight. And my last pick of the night, Buddy Hield. This is a low number. This is going to be one we could be sweating all the game. 5.5 points against Houston, more than. Buddy Hield didn't get going the last game. I believe he had like 2 points in game 1. He is a sharpshooter 3.
He also had 2 points against Memphis in the play-in.
Yes, he did. Şengün, the Rockets are a very big team. They're number 1 in rebounding. Şengün in the middle. They're a naturally really big team. They play physical. I think we're going to see a lot of driving kick tonight, especially with Jimmy Butler getting in the paint. The game plan clearly has to be don't let Jimmy Butler beat you. Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry. I think we're going to see some easy outlet passes. I think Buddy Hield hits a couple threes tonight, hits this more than 5.5 points. So to recap, Fletch, you can veto one. Buddy Hield, more than 5.5 points against the Houston Rockets. Amen Thompson, more than 13 points against the Golden State Warriors. Tyler Herro, more than 7 3-pointers attempted in their game against Cleveland. And Peyton Pritchard, more than 12 points against Orlando tonight.
I don't think I like Buddy Hield.
Why are you whispering?
Because I don't want to say it out loud because it feels very easy for that to happen, but I don't think I like the Buddy Hield pick.
All right, if you want to take out Buddy Hield, we'll take out Buddy Hield.
I think I'd rather just go Jimmy Butler. Dude's unstoppable.
You want Jimmy Butler over on points?
I mean, his demon's at like 24.5. I feel like he's going to get that.
Okay.
Am I crazy? Am I crazy?
Houston's just a good defensive team.
Jimmy shoots like 50 free throws a game.
All right, you want to throw in the Red Demon? I'm with it. Let's throw in the Red Demon. All right, scratch Buddy Hield, all our listeners.
I'm going to keep Buddy Hield too.
You can't do that. I hate how he does that. He vetoes one and then he goes back on the veto. Ridiculous. Do you want Jimmy Butler or not?
I do want Jimmy Butler.
All right, so Buddy Hield is vetoed. Stop confusing everybody. I'm going to read the final lineup we have. Fletch's pick is Red Demon, more than 24.5 points for Jimmy Butler. Peyton Pritchard, more than 12 points. Amen Thompson, more than 13. And Tyler Herro, more than 7 3-pointers.
God, Buddy Hield's going to go off for 20 tonight. For sure.
You're the one that we already locked it in. I got locked in with Jimmy Butler.
That's bold. That's a really bold move, Sammy.
You're the one that gave the pick.
Who would ever? What in the world?
If all 3 of these hit and Jimmy Butler doesn't, I'm going to be so pissed off at you.
Yeah, especially if Buddy Hield goes off for 20. He's going to be like the best player in the world tonight.
Yeah, he's going to hit a game winning.
Buddy Hield's going to have the game of his life. It's going to be like Sacramento Kings Buddy Hield, who just went off all the time because he was the only offensive option.
615 says, there's a silver lining in today's miserable Padre game. At least now Sammy can't include them in his long shots. Fletch, you need a Family Feud style with buzzer added to the soundbar every time he throws a pitch Padre player in his lineups. That's
Enrique Iglesias. That's the name of the guy who sings "Will You Be My Hero, Baby." Gabriel
949
Iglesias is
corrected
Fluffy.
you.
That's the comedian.
I was about to say, I was like, Gabriel Iglesias, you mean the comedian?
No, Enrique Iglesias. Will you be my hero, baby? Sammy's singing that tomorrow if this lineup cashes. You're going to do a whole performance right before long shots.
Okay, I like that.
Just at least like one chorus to bridge.
Oh, I'll be there. We'll definitely be doing this. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, thank God we didn't have any Padres overs today.
God.
Manny Machado, I thought was going to hit that yesterday.
Jose Iglesias is over would have been beautiful.
Yeah,
He's the only Padre that got a hit.
I was very disappointed in Manny yesterday. Like 3.5 total bases against Jack Flaherty, your nemesis. We couldn't hit a home run.
Dude, Manny started just going like this. If you were looking at his graph, like Manny started the season so hot. I never vocalized it. I should have because I would have been right, but I didn't want to say it. It felt like he was going to go into a month of bad. And right now we're at the start of the month of bad. Hopefully he proves me wrong.
Yeah, hopefully he's not. Well, maybe he listens to you and he's going to have the motivation to push it over
Manny
the top.
in the clubhouse right now, I'm sure, just popped an AirPod
Oh,
in.
yeah.
He's like, I got to hear long shots, dude. If I don't hear long shots, dude, I'm toast. San Diego Sports 760, Hour 2 coming up next. Alan Sliwa is going to be joining the show. We got Hardy tickets to give away, and we will react to a devastating 6-0 loss today for the Padres. Not really that devastating, but we'll react to it. Coming up next.
Are your monthly bills keeping you up at night, wondering how you got so behind? Hey, I'm Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. I get it. Life is expensive now. Insurance, groceries, cars. And then there's the credit card debt with those obscene interest rates. It's time to regain your financial freedom. And that's what we offer at Loan Pronto, using the power of the equity in your home. We have multiple ways to get you the cash you need, and most clients close in 2 weeks or less, and many don't even require an appraisal. And listen, rates have been plummeting recently. We just locked a homeowner in with an APR in the low fives, saving her over $1,000 per month, and put $10,000 in her pocket. Life-changing money. Whether you're drowning in debt, have a nosebleed rate you got last year, need home improvements, or simply need cash in your pocket, we can help you accomplish this goal in record time. Call us today and get started with no hard credit pull, just a conversation. LoanPronto.com, 619-207-4336. LoanPronto.com. That's LoanPronto.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Doja Cat, Gwen Stefani, David Guetta, Meghan Trainor, and more. Wingo Tango presented by Fiji Airways. May 10th, Huntington City Beach. All ticket prices go up May 2nd, so get yours now at AXS.com.
Every day, families with a hospitalized child find comfort at our San Diego Ronald McDonald House. Right now, you can help, all while giving yourself a chance to win big. The San Diego Giving Back Raffle is your chance to win an incredible multi-million-dollar Carlsbad Beach House, luxury vacations, high-end cars, and so much more. But more importantly, every ticket helps families stay together during life's toughest times. Visit sdraffle.com to get your tickets today. That's sdraffle.com.
At Straight Talk, we are all about no-brainers. Calling grandma for her recipe, no-brainer. Streaming one more episode at 2 a.m., big no-brainer. Getting real unlimited data where you buy bananas, the ultimate no-brainer. Switch now and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2024 with select plans. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 5/19/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-source single line activation on qualifying plan. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com/terms. Copyright 2025 Verizon.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Rapid radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off, free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Here's what's trending now on the new and improved iHeartRadio app.
This is going to be an episode you can't miss. Deepak Chopra drops some mind-blowing wisdom on Purpose with Jay Shetty. And I got to be honest, it might change the way you think. Plus, Julianne Hough spills iconic advice she got from the one and only Dolly Parton on Post Run High. Plus, Clay Matthews joins Lots to Say, and he's got a lot to say about beekeeping. Yeah, you heard that right.
Explore the latest. Open the free iHeartRadio app and see what's trending now.
San Diego Sports 760 has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website.
Check. That's check.
Enter it now at sportssd.com. KGB and KGB FM HD2 San Diego. Number 1 on your car radio preset. And on the new and improved iHeartRadio app. 3 never sounded so good.
This report is sponsored by the Jim Buttrell Real Estate Team in the NBA tonight. We have 3 games. The Magic will be in Boston taking on the Celtics for Game 2. The Heat will be in Cleveland taking on the Cavs, and then the Warriors be in Houston taking on the Rockets. Houston is currently favored by 3.5 with the point total set at 204.5. That game will get going at 6:30. And then the NHL tonight, we'll see a Game 2 between the Oilers and the Kings. Kings won 6-5 on home ice the other night. That game will get going at 7 o'clock. Would you like to know what your home would sell for today? Get a simple text message with your home's value by texting your address to 855-600-6000. You'll get no phone call, just a text. Jim Buttrell has the buyers. Simply text your address to 855-600-6000.
The following takes place between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m.
Now it's time to enter the Fletch Zone.
All right, it's hour number 2 here on San Diego Sports 760. Thank you for being here. You can watch us on YouTube at San Diego Sports 760. Follow us on Twitter or X at Fletch and Sammy. You can stream us in both those places. Trust me, you want to see Sammy's hair. It's a thing of beauty. All right, before we get to the big 3 of hour number 2, and we'll talk Padres some more coming up in about 10 minutes. Before we get to that, Sammy, I need you to be completely open, 100% honest when you respond to what I say next. Are you ready for this?
I'm always 100% honest and open.
Why does LeBron James act like he got his head chopped off when he doesn't even get touched and stop the game for 5 minutes at a time?
Well, my caveat would be that he only shot 6 free throws over 2 games in the series. So
yeah, but why does he act like he got decapitated in an old-timey like King Arthur tournament when they go to the slow-mo replay and he doesn't even get touched, but he lays on the ground for a couple minutes and he's like, you could see his eyes totally open, but he's like, oh, it hurts so bad. Oh, no. But he's
part of the game. It's Hollywood. We're trying to get calls.
It's part of soccer. I get it in soccer. Those guys don't stop. In basketball, it should not be part of the game. It's a little ridiculous and performative that LeBron is still doing this stuff.
Listen, it was happening both ways. The game was called extremely tight last night. I thought it was some ticky-tack calls both ways. It was hard to get into a flow of the game. I get why the refs were doing that in the sense that game 1 was extremely physical, at least on the Timberwolves side. And then coming out in this game in the first quarter, it was extremely physical. I mean, the Lakers and the Timberwolves were taking shots. DiVincenzo threw his elbow out there at Vanderbilt. They ripped Gobert down. Vanderbilt ripped Gobert down on a rebounding attempt. So I got why they did it. I bet the whistle will be swallowed a little bit on Friday because of the criticism on Tuesday.
You didn't answer the question, though.
I don't know. I asked LeBron James. Trying to get calls.
You didn't answer the question, though. I mean, it's getting a little ridiculous at this point. LeBron James laying on the ground in complete agony. He didn't even get touched.
I would be less concerned about LeBron and more what James Harden does.
James Harden's bad.
Kicking honestly, his leg out and throwing his head back like he got shot.
Like, while actual basketball is being played, I don't think there's anyone more fun to watch than Luka Doncic. Like, the way he plays. If you watch that game last night, he catches the ball almost always with his back turned to the basket. And then he'll do a 3-quarter pivot, turn around, and size up whoever's guarding him. And if it's anyone that he doesn't think can keep up with him, he's ripping to the right. And he's getting into the lane, making something happen, whether it's a pass, whether it's a shot. He's the ultimate, like, creative shot maker. You could see he was literally licking his chops anytime Rudy Gobert was guarding him yesterday.
Well, that's the adjustments for next game is what's going to happen. So Luka and the Lakers, clear thing. Reeves, they went after Gobert the entire night. And that was kind of a thing coming into the series. The Lakers didn't take advantage of that in game 1. I thought at the end of the game, there was too much iso ball. Coach was talking about it on air 30 minutes ago. too much iso ball, too much standing around. That's when the Laker offense was stagnant, when it was just Luka's turn, then Reeves' turn, then LeBron. They need to run the system more. But what's the?
I had a butt. You want to hear my butt?
What's your butt?
My butt is when play is stopped, a whistle's blown. Either way, timeout's called. Luka is the worst person to watch in the entire NBA. His facial expressions, the way he complains about every single call, doesn't matter if it's for him or against him. He is so demonstrative and so over the top. It's like he's acting in a terrible B movie.
But what I think it was Jay McDaniels did by trying to twist his foot.
It was wrong.
That I understand him being
but
pissed off. That
if Luka gets brushed on his way to a hoop and he doesn't get a call, the way he looks to the refs and complains is ridiculous. It's my 10-year-old niece does this stuff.
First off, imagine imagine if they were talking about this post game on TNT. Imagine if Luka Doncic twists an ankle and misses the next 2 games of the series because of that. I understand Luka being pissed. That one, you want to talk about them complaining about calls? Everyone does that in the NBA. Everyone complains about calls.
You're talking about one like specific moment in last night's game. I can concede that he was okay to be pissed at that, but he's pissed all the time.
Luka's teaching the refs how to play basketball, and I'm all here for it.
Luka's doing something, man. I do like the new commercial he has for his new shoe where there's
trial of
bad Luka, and then he's like, how can you be bad when you got shoes this good? It's pretty good. It's clever. It's creative. It really is. All right, and then just to tie the loop on the NBA thing before we get to the big 3, did you see TNT's response to Shaq having to get up in the middle of the segment?
The porta potty was gold.
The porta potty in the studio.
And then Shaq's making sounds in the porta potty.
Chuck didn't even notice for a hot minute. Like Chuck walks out, takes his seat, doesn't even realize there's a porta potty sitting where Shaq should be sitting, like probably 10 feet away from him. And then he finally turns over. Somebody made a slow-mo edit of it. It's online. Oh, I was dying laughing. Those guys are good, man. They really are. All right, big 3 is something we do every single day. We got Padres talk coming up in about 6 minutes, so stay tuned if you're looking for that. We'll react to today's game where they lost 6-0. But the big 3 is paramount. It really is, because Sammy Long takes us around a journey, if you will. The top 3 stories in the world of sports. Sammy, hit the button.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? I mean, coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big 3.
Hour 2, give me that juice.
All right, let's actually we have some college football news, which is interesting. Rarely in April, Lane Kiffin said today he wants a 16-team playoff. Says more fan bases would be emotionally involved in the college football playoff if there were 16 teams instead of 12. Should they do this?
I'm fine with it. If it's 16, you need to lop off a week of the regular season, I think, maybe even 2. I'm fine if it goes to 32 teams. Make it a little more inclusive. Make it a true college football playoff. You look in the NFL, what is it? 16 teams, 8 from each side. So the NFL, you get 16 teams. College football, you start with like 133. Why does it make sense to only be 4?
NFL, you get 14. You get 7 on each side.
7 on each side. Okay, but still, like it's almost half the league gets into the postseason. NFL, I believe, has a pretty damn good postseason. But in college, you start with 133 teams, and I'm supposed to believe that there's only 4 teams that deserve to compete for a national championship. I don't buy that at all. 16 feels like the right number. I'd be fine with even more.
I'm totally with
12. That was the first this year.
So I totally agree with Lane Kiffin. I think 16 should be there. Now, it's ironic that Lane Kiffin's talking about it when Ole Miss just missed the cut, just like Alabama. Nick Saban was whining about how, why do we schedule tough games if they're not going to give us any credit? It's like you had 3 losses. So, of course, you get additions for scheduling tough games. But I do hear this. College football is the best when you have a kind of corner of each country who is involved. The part of the problem why college football ratings would be great all season when it was 4 teams and it'd be so bad in the playoff was it was Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and Georgia in there.
Georgia, TCU,
it's hard.
A couple other teams.
It's hard to get someone from San Diego or New York to go, why do I care about a Clemson-Georgia championship game? It's hard when it's just the South. The ideal thing for college football is right. You have a San Diego State that's good. You have a USC. You have a Notre Dame, Ohio State. You have all corners of Washington, all corners of the country in. I like this. The only thing, I hope they don't just do this because of the first round matchups being bad last year. Like that's it almost adds something to it that the first round matchups were blowouts, because then you kind of have one of these days someone's going to go into an Ohio State, someone's going to go into one of these schools and pull an upset on opening weekend, and it's going to be electric.
Did you see what Lane Kiffin said a couple days ago about Carson Beck?
I saw something about that. I didn't read it, though.
So Lane Kiffin was asked, because Carson Beck signed a $4.3 million deal to go be the Miami quarterback. I believe Miami quarterback.
He's replacing Cam Ward.
And Lane Kiffin said to the media, he said, $4.3 million? Did you see his game against us? He's not worth $4.3 million.
Lane just says whatever comes to his mind.
He says the quiet part out loud. I like Lane Kiffin a lot. Story number 2.
What team is under the most pressure on draft night and you think will kind of change the outcome of the draft?
I love the Atlanta storylines. I do, because I actually don't think Atlanta's that far away. I like Michael Penix Jr. a lot. And so Atlanta sitting there in the middle of the draft, I think if they can move down, like I really do think they should be one of the teams who seriously considers giving up their first round pick, dropping down into the second and third, and they could make somebody who's behind them very, very happy in the process, shifting the draft. And Atlanta moving back has a real opportunity to turn their entire franchise around next year. I think Michael Penix is the real deal, man. I think Atlanta's a fun team to root for.
They have one of the youngest offense. You got Bijan Robinson,
Bijan's ridiculous.
Drake London, Kyle Pitts. I mean, there's talent there.
What did we say last year going into the season? If this was your Madden team, you'd feel pretty damn good about it.
Yeah, they got playmakers everywhere. They were in a lot of tight games. It's just Kirk kind of fell off.
They're looking to move Kirk now on draft day potentially.
That's interesting that they waited this long. Probably smart, because if you're looking at Kirk Cousins, some team, if you're Pittsburgh and you don't get a quarterback, would you rather have Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins for 6th round pick?
Kirk Cousins.
I take Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins actually probably should have signed him a year ago on a cheap contract and see what would have happened. I'm gonna go with the New York Jets. I think the Jets, even though they have Justin Fields at quarterback, I mean, there's a reason why people were so excited for this team in the last couple of years with Aaron Rodgers, because the roster is really good. The defense,
longest current playoff drought in the NFL.
Sauce Gardner, Quinnen Williams. I mean, there's a lot of stars on this team. Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson was projected to be one of the top 5 receivers kind of a couple of years ago, and Aaron Rodgers just didn't mesh and was more interested in getting his friends.
Yeah, but all he's done is put up 1,000-yard seasons, no matter who's playing quarterback.
That's all he's done. So they're sitting at 7. They're projected by Peter Schrager right now to take Tyler Warren. I think both New York teams are going to dictate how this draft goes, because the draft really starts at 3. Do the Giants take Abdul Carter and kind of keep going down the board? Do they surprise someone and take a quarterback? And then the Jets, it's like, do they fall into the trap of going with a playmaker? They haven't gotten the offensive line right for years, so we'll see what happens there.
I'm proud of the New York Jets so far this offseason. We'll see what they do in the draft, but I'm proud of them because it's been quiet.
Yeah,
we haven't heard any BS about the Jets.
People are ripping the Jets, going, how could they treat Aaron Rodgers this way? Aaron Rodgers has treated them with zero respect, going on darkness retreats when he should have been at voluntary workouts, missing training camp because didn't he go to I think
the darkness retreat was actually when he was making his decision to retire the first time. He was still on the Packers at the time. This was Egypt.
The Egypt trip. The Egypt trips.
But it's same.
They invested everything in him. The Jets made a big thing to make their whole roster around him, and he didn't really seem to feel the same way. So I love that Aaron Glenn was basically told him to pound sand. I mean, what did they owe Aaron Rodgers?
Pound sand. That's a good one. You got a third story?
Yeah, we'll head back to the NBA. So Tyrese Halliburton on this Bucks Pacers series 2-0. Damian Lillard didn't look like he had it last night. First night coming back was on a minutes restriction. He said, quote, "We don't like them. They don't like us. And that's just what it is." Do we think that the ratings have been up in the NBA playoffs? The kind of rivalries and guys not liking each other has improved the quality of the game?
It's definitely been more physical than I was expecting it to be. Guys are getting after it a little bit more. You saw Dame. He got a tee from the bench in game 1. And then game 2, he was in everybody's face the entire night. Look, I think Dame was maybe overcompensating a little bit. I think he was huffing wind. Like, he was not physically ready for that. Charles Barkley, I thought, made a really good point about Damian Lillard and the Bucks as a whole. He needs time. Look, he rushed his way back to this team. It's impressive that he was even on the court, but Damian Lillard needs a second, all right? And he played well considering yesterday, but NBA playoffs aren't really about considering. And so if Damian Lillard can come back in game 2 and be a little better, I actually like the Bucks to win in game 3. I really do. So you think about what you just said, Sammy, and I think it's been more physical than expected. There's been a little bit more piss and vinegar than I would have expected there to be, and absolutely that helps. I've been more invested in the NBA playoffs this year.
It feels like we always go back to the 90s when the Pistons and the Bulls to this day hate each other.
It's never going to get that good.
The rivalries seem to be kind of coming back in a sense, but there was a few years there where it felt like everyone was just friends, and that comes from guys working out in the offseason together, guys playing on the Olympic team together. Anthony Edwards is good for the NBA. He talks a lot. Luka's good for the NBA. He talks a lot. It kind of creates a rivalry. The Bucks and Pacers, two small market teams that maybe the casual fan might not be super tuned into. You see that they really do not like each other, and we've seen the kind of Nuggets and Clippers series get feisty. I like this.
You know who else is good for the NBA playoffs? Tibbs.
Tibbs is great.
Just being an antic on the sideline. Him and JJ Redick, honestly, they've been entertaining to watch.
That Knicks Pistons series, by the way, that is going to be fun. The Pistons are live dogs in this thing, not just because they won the last game. They probably should have won the first game if they didn't give up that 21-0 run. The Pistons, man, are going to be good here in a year or two when they get another star.
What was the name of the coach from the Raptors the year Kawhi won the NBA?
Nick Nurse.
Nick Nurse. Where's that dude at right now?
He went to the Sixers. He's the Sixers.
Because he's fun as hell, too. Him hugging Drake on the sideline, him losing his mind. Like, he just looked like he's this nerdy kid who all of a sudden is, like, thrust into this position. Oh, I
feel like him and Mike McDaniel are related.
Very similar. Very similar. All right. Quick break here on San Diego Sports 760. When we come back, we will react to that Padres loss. Alan Sleewa coming up in 15 minutes. Hardy tickets coming up in the next segment. Don't go anywhere. San Diego Sports 760.
San Diego Sports Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Anderson Plumbing, Heating and Air. Coastline slowing because of a lane closure. South 5 La Costa to Lucadia. You're slow from Poinsettia. Traffic break should be taking place. South 805 near Mesa College. Remove a bumper out of lanes. South 5 before Mission Bay Drive. Watch out for a wooden beam. Second lane from the right. Mark Zegan, San Diego traffic.
Anderson's Drain Stoppage Guarantee. Solve issues for $63 or it's on the house. Nobody wows clients like they do. Anderson Plumbing, Heating and Air has been privileged to serve over 500,000 residential clients for more than 45 years. Visit AndersonPHA.com.
Is credit card debt ruining your life? Did you know you have a right to settle that debt for much less than you owe? DebtBlue has helped people just like you resolve millions of dollars of high-interest credit card debt. They can help with payment relief, the burden of rising inflation, and have a large portion of your debt wiped clean. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, a free 10-minute phone call could save you thousands. Discover how to reduce or completely resolve your credit card debt. In fact, we're so sure that we can reduce your debt that we offer the DebtBlue Success Guarantee. We don't get paid unless your debt gets reduced or resolved, so there's absolutely no risk to call. For your free debt resolution plan, call 800-375-1158. That's 800-375-1158. The call is free. The consultation is free. The more you owe, the more you can save. Call now. 800-375-1158. 800-375-1158.
Hi, I'm Martin Luther King III.
And I'm Andrea Waters King. April is National Volunteer Month, the perfect time to turn intention into action.
We are inviting you to join Realize the Dream, our national movement to complete 100 million hours of service by my father's 100th birthday in 2029.
Whether you volunteer with friends, help out in your neighborhood, or take on a new project, every act of service counts.
Let's make history together. Visit realizethedream.org and join the movement today.
Are your monthly bills keeping you up at night, wondering how you got so behind? Hey, I'm Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. I get it. Life is expensive now. Insurance, groceries, cars. And then there's the credit card debt with those obscene interest rates. It's time to regain your financial freedom. And that's what we offer at Loan Pronto, using the power of the equity in your home. We have multiple ways to get you the cash you need, and most clients close in 2 weeks or less, and many don't even require an appraisal. And listen, rates have been plummeting recently. We just locked a homeowner in with an APR in the low fives, saving her over $1,000 per month and put $10,000 in her pocket. Life-changing money. Whether you're drowning in debt, have a nosebleed rate you got last year, need home improvements, or simply need cash in your pocket, we can help you accomplish this goal in record time. Call us today and get started with no hard credit pull, just a conversation. LoanPronto.com, 619-207-4336. LoanPronto.com. That's LoanPronto.com.
Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Every day, families with a hospitalized child find comfort at our San Diego Ronald McDonald House. Right now, you can help, all while giving yourself a chance to win big. The San Diego Giving Back raffle is your chance to win an incredible multi-million-dollar Carlsbad beach house, luxury vacations, high-end cars, and so much more. But more importantly, every ticket helps families stay together during life's toughest times. Buy your tickets by May 15th for a bonus chance to win an all-new BMW Z4 or one
$100,000 in cash. Visit SDRaffle.com to get your tickets today. That's SDRaffle.com.
United by a love of the beautiful game. Beautiful game. Beautiful game. This is San Diego FC.
Puts it in to the 18-header goal. Into the cauldron for the header. Goal.
Saturday afternoon, we'll be live at Snapdragon Stadium as SDFC will host Real Salt Lake. The SDFC kickoff show starts at 4 with a 4:30 kickoff. Hear it all on your home of SDFC. San Diego Sports. 760. America's finest sports station.
No sleep till.
San Diego Sports 760 has 13 chances for you to win $1,000 every single weekday with the bonus bucks giveaway every single hour, 6 a.m. through 6 p.m. Listen at the top of the hour. Next chance coming up at 2 o'clock today for you to win $1,000. You just got to listen for the keyword, enter it at sportssd.com. You got $1,000 in your pocket. So if you are ranking, Coach Kentera actually kind of spurred this in my brain, Sammy. If you're going to rank the most hated college basketball players of all time, how long do you have to wait till you get to Jimmer Fredette?
Oh,
I think there's only like 3 or 4 guys on my list above Jimmer Fredette. I'll be honest.
He was so good in college.
He was filthy.
That run with BYU.
Him and Kawhi had some of the most legendary college basketball games ever.
The problem though with BYU is they're not a big enough brand.
Well, and also they would drop into a 2-3 zone. Jimmer would play absolutely zero defense. Literally play zero defense for an entire college basketball game. Drop 40 points, and BYU would win.
That's a good question. It'd probably be top 5, top 10.
Like JJ Redick's up there.
Well, basically every Duke player ever is up there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Except for Christian Laettner. He avoids all criticism. He really does. But Jimmer Fredette's got to be in the top 10. Anyways, Jimmer Fredette announcing like 30 minutes ago that he's retiring from basketball. Finally, it's been a while. But Jimmer Fredette is done. Kawhi Leonard still playing. So who got the last laugh, really? I think that was 2011. Those two guys.
Was that still being debated? Who got the last laugh between Kawhi Leonard?
I think they each took one game in 2011. It was one of the better rivalries in all of college basketball that year. 2 of the best games of the season.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jimmer Fredette, Kawhi Leonard, legendary basketball, college basketball players, both of them. But Jimmer Fredette, he was the most polarizing figure in college basketball during his run at BYU. All right, Padres lost earlier today, 6-0 to the Detroit Tigers. That means they dropped 2 out of 3 to the Houston Astros on the road in Houston, 2 out of 3 to the Detroit Tigers in Detroit. Is this the trend? Are we worried about this at all, Padres fans? Text us 70470. Start your message with team. Is it too early to start calling them a home team or a road team? Because last year, right away, they were great on the road. They were winning a bunch of one-run games on the road. They actually really struggled at Petco Park, which didn't make a whole lot of sense. The place was packed all the time. But their record on the road, at least to start the season, was much, much better than it was at home. This year, it's been completely flipped. So are you starting to worry that this team is really, really good at Petco Park, where they have 48,000 people going nuts for 3.5 hours every single time they play, and then they really are struggling on the road? Is this something you're worried about as of right now? Sammy, let's start with you.
I'm not really as much worried about that they can't go on the road. They showed it in the playoffs last year. They beat the Dodgers in Game 2 on the road. I know it's a different team, but still, with the lack of injuries, I'm not as concerned about that. I'm more concerned about the fact that when they set up in series, they played the Cubs twice, they played the Astros and the Tigers. So 4 series against teams that are a good team that are going to be relevant. The Cubs have been on a tear. They had a huge win against the Dodgers yesterday in extras. They're 1-3 in those series, and they picked off a game in all those series, but it felt like they couldn't really close the show. And we got really excited on them when they beat swept the Rockies and went 2-1 against the A's. And we're kind of beating the teams they should. Coach Kentera said it's early. That's 1-3 series. They again picked off games in every one of them, but it is something to be concerned about. Is the fact that the bullpen in the starting pitching staff, especially the starting pitching staff, hasn't been exactly the same when they've stepped up in competition because of the batters they've had to face. Again, a lot of injuries going on, but really excited to see the Giants next week. That series is going to be really fun. Giants playing good baseball right now, and we're going to see how our first look at an NL West opponent, how they can handle that.
Outside of the Rockies, they don't count.
Again, are they? Do they still have a baseball team in Colorado?
I mean, I would honestly, if you want my real opinion on this, I would hesitate to even bring up road home splits on April 23rd. It seems like kind of a crazy thing to do. But today, 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. I gave you the numbers a little earlier this week, but the disparities have been so great between team ERA, bullpen ERA, starting pitchers ERA, runners with scoring position, batting average between home and road. It is completely night and day so far, and I don't think all of that is opponent. Today, Reese Olson was fantastic. Sometimes you run into a really, really great day from a good starting pitcher, and that's what you got today. Reese Olson looked unhittable today. But is that the Padres in their approach, or is that Reese Olson, who career is like a 3.8 pitcher? It's in his 4th season. Was he that dominant, or was the Padres hitting approach today that bad? And the truth is probably somewhere in the middle, right? But when you look at what this team has done on the road so far, it's like that kill factor is not in their veins. What they get at Petco Park with the energy from the crowd, with the way that it's been so far, it's like you're just waiting for that Gavin Sheets moment where he comes up in the later innings and he's got a runner on second base. You feel like he's going to get the single. And more importantly, Gavin Sheets feels like he's going to get the hit. On the road, I don't know that the Padres have that same sort of swagger.
And I think 858 says can't judge the Padres right now because of all the injuries. I'm not worried. I agree with you on the injury front. It's tough to see them. They're not fully healthy, and that certainly affects the batting order. But Kevin AC made a point on our show yesterday talking about how Kyle Hart and Randy Vasquez are 4 and 5 starters. So the kind of up and down. Kyle Hart's definitely been up and down, had a decent day today after the first inning, but and then Vasquez got touched up the other day. I think that's where you see the biggest difference right now, is that at home, the Padres the first couple of weeks were kind of able to hide maybe some of the deficiencies at the back end of the rotation with Darvish out and bringing Hart along, and then Vasquez, obviously being a big part of the rotation this year. And then on the road, you saw this series alone, Nick Pivetta really stepped up and kind of played like one of the aces on the team, a guy from Boston who's had a pitched some big games in his career. I think you're seeing away from home when you don't have the crowd behind you. Some of the back end of the pitching staff struggle a little bit, but again, waiting on you, Darvish, to come back, but we don't know when that's going to be.
Sammy Long, did you happen to wake up on the wrong side of the truck bed this morning?
Of the truck bed?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see what you're doing here.
Because I did. I woke up on the wrong side of the truck bed this morning. And you can too. Hardy tickets, May 22nd at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. That's one of his songs, by the way, if you didn't know. It's really good. It's a banger. You should play it on the free iHeartRadio app. May 22nd, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Hardy's going to be there. His new album, Psycho, is awesome. Or I think it's called Quit. Psycho is one of the songs on it. If you want to go see that show, if you want to go on a great date night here in San Diego, take the missus, take the girlfriend out to North Island Credit Union Amphitheater with a pair of Hardy tickets on May 22nd. If you want to buy tickets, Ticketmaster.com. If you want to win tickets, 877-767-4760. You are going courtesy of San Diego Sports 760. Take a quick break. When we come back, Alan Sleewas talking Lakers coming up next. Hey, it's Fletch for Gary Cooper, Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty, their team giving you the excellent opportunity to take advantage of the latest cutting-edge loan products. Call Gary today at 858-376-1299. That's 858-376-1299. And wouldn't you know it, Gary is here. So, Gary, my wife and I, we're seeing the news change every single day about when it's the right time to buy a home, and then the next day it's not. What advice would you give if we were sitting down with a meeting with you right now?
Well, I think a lot of people still think it's the seller's market, and quite honestly, it's very home specific. There's not the multiple offer situations, and in fact, homes are sitting on the market longer than they have in years. In addition to that, I think the number is around 43% increase in properties that have come onto the market. So we see that increase, and the demand isn't there like it was before. So therefore, this is a great opportunity for home buyers. Get pre-approved, not pre-qual. Pre-qual means nothing. Pre-approved means I will collect all your documentation and fully underwrite the loan and ensure that you are approved so that there's no hurdles and issues. Don't fall for looking at homes with a realtor, and then you put in an offer, then you're trying to get approved, because now you're putting me behind the 8 ball when that happens, and things get complicated. I want to make things really easy. I can help you get pre-approved. I can help you find that home and guide you through the whole process.
Call Gary Cooper, 858-376-1299. That's 858-376-1299. Find that dream home of yours soon.
Doja Cat, Gwen Stefani, David Guetta, Meghan Trainor, and more. Wingo Tango presented by Fiji Airways. May 10th, Huntington City Beach. All ticket prices go up May 2nd, so get yours now at AXS.com.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt?
I owe the IRS $37,000.
Get ready for a toll-free hotline. Take advantage of new IRS tax forgiveness programs that may protect you from IRS collection agencies. They have the power to garnish your wages, put liens on your property, and levy your bank account. Civic Tax Relief can help protect you from the IRS.
Civic Tax Relief basically represented me against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, I didn't owe the IRS anything.
Find out about the Fresh Start program that is now available through Civic Tax Relief. Civic Tax Relief's special tax hotline can help you discover all the relief programs available for free.
I would recommend anyone who has a tax problem to contact Civic Tax Relief.
Just call 800-506-5803. 800-506-5803. Don't wait. Call now. 800-506-5803. 800-506-5803.
Pure opportunity. It's what Michigan is all about. The opportunity to do more. The opportunity to connect with the best talent. The opportunity for people of all backgrounds to grow and expand their business. The opportunity to live and work in a state where paychecks go further. The opportunity is now, and is right here in Michigan. Visit MichiganBusiness.org to discover all the ways the Michigan Economic Development Corporation can help your business thrive.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
San Diego Sports. Now.
This sport is sponsored by the Jim Betrell real estate team. The Padres, after losing 6-0 to the Tigers today, will be back in action on Friday at 6:40, where they play host to the Tampa Bay Rays over the weekend, followed by hosting the San Francisco Giants, their second NL West foe over the year. In the NBA tonight, the big matchup, the Warriors will be in Houston taking on the Rockets. The Warriors took game one in Houston. Houston is currently favored by 3.5 points. That game will tip at 6:30. Would you like to know what your home would sell for today? Get a simple text message with your home's value by texting your address to 855-600-6000. You get no phone call, just a text. Jim Betrell has the buyer. Simply text your address to 855-600-6000.
Last night, if you were listening to San Diego Sports 760, you heard the Los Angeles Lakers get a win in Game 2, evening up their series. Let's talk some Lakers with Alan Sleewa. He's the host of Hoops Talk with Alan Sleewa on YouTube. You can subscribe there. I watched a little bit of Alan's recap live from Crypto.com Arena. Alan, how you doing, pal?
What's going on, brother? Thank you for having me on. How are you?
Good, man. I learned a lot last night watching you do your little shadow boxing thing. You feel like you were giving Crypto.com Arena a whole shadow boxing routine. But as you kind of got into the game last night, I think you were spot on, kind of highlighting the defensive adjustments that J.J. Redick and the Lakers made heading into Game 2, and that ends up being the reason they win Game 2.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's not like Lakers were phenomenal on offense. They only scored 94 points, but if you're playing in a playoff game, it's the lowest scoring that Minnesota had all season long. They never actually had a game under 90. So if you got a squad scoring 85 points, I thought the Lakers, kind of made some adjustments from Game 1. You saw how great Naz Reid was in Game 1. They took half the amount of threes they took from Game 1. Lakers were just really trying to take them off the three-point line. They were stopping some of the role players. Only two guys scored in double figures, Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards, nobody else. And if I'm not telling you that that's going to happen in every game, but at least for, I guess you can call it the blueprint for the Lakers to beat Minnesota and to try to take a 2-1 lead when they play again on Friday, I think it's going to have to be a similar model.
Alan, what did you think of Anthony Edwards talking about after the game, saying he was kind of confused by the Lakers zone they played after him? What did you make of that?
I think that kind of just shows the Lakers. I mean, if you got, I know Ant's only 23. I do understand that he's still obviously incredibly young. Maybe he hasn't seen a ton of different defenses, but it's a compliment to the coaching staff. I don't know if The Timberwolves coaching staff wants him to admit that he was confused during the game. He probably wants that more behind closed doors. And hasn't had a great game in these first two games. So I think it's kind of indicative of how the Lakers have played him. Even in game one when Minnesota won, it wasn't really the Anthony Edwards show. It was much more about some of the other players. And I think they're kind of keeping him a little bit off of his game. And again, Anthony Edwards is a phenomenal player. He's going to get his. But I think most importantly is, all right, well, if he's going to drop 35, is he doing it efficiently? If he's going to have a game where he's scoring a ton of points, is he distributing for others? And I think they've kept it pretty lopsided so far.
Alan Slewa joining us today on San Diego Sports 760. Alan, if you listen to Sammy long enough, you realize he loves Austin Reeves. And I get it. But Austin Reeves hasn't really been playing great either over the last couple of weeks. And then Austin Reeves last night, I thought there was a very specific moment in the first half where he gave up an open three-pointer, drove to the lane, and got a contested right-handed layup right near the hoop. And then all of a sudden he's playing a little freer. How important is Austin Reeves to the success of the Lakers the rest of the way this postseason?
Critical. Very, very big. Listen, I'm not – there are certain players, I think, on every team that you look at and you say, hey, if this guy goes off, then there's a good chance that team is going to win the game. Austin Reeves, I think you kind of know, look, Luka's going to get his, LeBron's going to get his. Luka's been, last night is a great example. I think he accounted for over 55% of the Lakers' points if you take his points and his assists. Austin Reeves is such a critical piece because not a lot of teams have three guys that can get to the basket, that can score, can dish a little bit. He was 0 for 6 from the three-point line, but I think the play that you're talking about, and this happens a lot for shooters, my shot's not falling. How can I get into some kind of a rhythm? A lot of times guys get to the free throw line or they take the ball to the basket. Maybe they get a couple easy buckets and they go from there. Even though he was 0 for 6 from 3 yesterday, he still managed to shoot 50% from the field. He was 7 of 14, got 5 rebounds, got 5 assists. If one of those threes drop, he's close to 20 points, 5 and 5. And I think, obviously everybody would take that in a heartbeat.
The Lakers at the end of the game, when it kind of felt like the Timberwolves were coming back a little bit, they were playing a lot of iso ball, but they were kind of exposing Rudy Gobert. Do you think they'll be able to have the same success against Rudy Gobert the rest of the series, or the Wolves will adjust?
Honestly, I think they're doing too much of that. I think you're almost getting kind of caught up in this Rudy Gobert, Luka Doncic, and everybody kind of thinks about last year what happened, and Luka's kind of trying to bait into it and get the crowd in it. Just play basketball. I feel like there's too much isolation basketball. Now, I don't think that's when the Lakers are at their best. I would like to see much more from a ball movement perspective. Yeah, you could hunt. I mean, if you think there's plays that you can get off that are going to be, good buckets, but it's not like Gobert had no shot against Luka yesterday. I thought actually he drew Luka to take some tough shots. And or maybe shots that just kind of went a little bit later into the shot clock and you didn't get the exact shot that you wanted. But Gobert, to play it on the other side, Gobert really hasn't been much of a factor. I think seeing Gobert, if you look at the stat line by the time the game's over, and if he's a double-double, 12 and 12, something like that, you're like, okay, hey, you feel his presence. I think yesterday maybe he was 6 and 6, so they haven't found a way to be able to use Gobert. And frankly, I think this is just a bad matchup for Gobert. Lakers go smaller. And there's certain teams that, if Minnesota was playing in the first round or look back at last year, their playoff run, there's times where Gobert is more valuable. And I think it's a little bit more it's a little tougher for him against the Lakers to be as valuable.
Search Hoops Talk on YouTube. You'll find Alan Slewa. Give him a subscription there. Does a great job breaking down the NBA. Alan, I don't know if you're able to catch it because I know you were at the Lakers game, but the Grizzlies OKC game earlier in the day, do we owe OKC a little bit of an apology? Because there was a couple moments last night where Memphis was pushing back into this one. It was never really in question, but it was like 10-point lead for OKC with 5 or 6 minutes left in the game. And it was almost like they decided right then and there, 10 points isn't good enough. We need to win this thing by 20. And they never backed down. It was as if they were playing like they needed the point differential to be bigger. I love the way OKC's playing through 2 games. Do we need to apologize to OKC a little bit for maybe disrespecting them heading into the postseason?
I don't think so. I mean, listen, they got Memphis was kind of reeling towards the end of the season. They fired Taylor Jenkins. I don't think anybody's expecting Memphis to make a lot of noise in the postseason anyways. Honestly, I just think OKC is doing what they're supposed to be doing. I get it. They won by 51 in one game. I think 19 yesterday. So they're obviously dismantling Memphis. But the apologies should come if they come out of the West and they come out pretty clean. And then whatever happens in the finals happens in the finals. I think that's where apologies can come. But I think for now, Oklahoma City has such an incredible regular season. They had such a great record. They accomplished so much during the regular season. This is kind of what they should be doing, not by 51, but by being up 2-0 against Memphis. Apologies can come later, I would say, and that's going to be a trip to the NBA Finals if they can get there.
The Warriors and Rockets are back tonight. Warriors obviously took game one. What are your thoughts on that series? Do you think this Golden State gets it done quickly, or do you think the Rockets still got a chance?
Well, I predicted Rockets in 7. So if tonight Houston doesn't tie this series up, I think I should stop covering the NBA. But no, I'll tell you this. I think I'm a fan of Houston's style of play. I love how their defense, the kind of everything is defense first. But some of the concerns that people had about them was you need guys like Jalen Green and Fred VanVleet. You need offense. You got to be able to score. Golden State will find a way to muddy the water a little bit. I think Houston ties up the series 1-1, but give Golden State a ton of credit. I mean, they put an incredible amount of pressure on Houston to have to win game 2. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that if they pick Golden State, they look great right now. And if they didn't, you're kind of looking at this team, and if it's 0-2 Golden State going back, obviously, to the Bay, then I think it's the Warriors just flexing their muscle and saying, yeah, this is what we do when we get in the postseason.
I sure hope you don't retire, Alan. So even if it does go the Warriors' way tonight, maybe don't stop covering basketball because you're really damn good at it. Out of the West right now, do you still think the Lakers have a real opportunity to get to the finals, or is it going to, like the Warriors, the OKC, is it just going to be too much for the Lakers to get over?
I think because they're just in such a – it feels like this is going to be a long series against Minnesota. You walk away – Minnesota has to feel pretty good in the position that they're in. Even losing yesterday, I thought after that first quarter, Minnesota just kind of battled with the Lakers and still made it tough, even though they had a 20-plus point lead. It's tough to really predict. It's tough to look at the Lakers as a whole in the Western Conference right now because they're fighting in the first round against a Minnesota team that's clearly showing, hey, this is going to be a dogfight throughout. If they do get past them, then you got either the Warriors or the Rockets waiting for you, and then you assume OKC's in the Western Conference Finals. I think for the Lakers right now, it's tough to really think big picture because they're in a dogfight in round 1.
Alan, Kawhi Leonard obviously went to San Diego State. That series has been great between the Nuggets and the Clippers. Do you have an edge there? Do you think the Clippers have enough health to get this done?
I picked Denver in 7, so I'm just going to stay with that. But this kind of feels like a coin flip series. Denver had some chances in game 2. Aaron Gordon missed the dunk. Michael Porter Jr. had I didn't even know really what it was. It looks like he was going to outlet the ball, and then he second guessed it. It ends up being a turnover. Clippers get a 3 off of it. Denver could be up 2-0, but doesn't it feel like the series should be one apiece? And neither team has had that much of an advantage. So I'll stay with my pick. I think what it's going to come down to for Denver is, can you play enough defense? Can you get enough stops? And can they get, contributions from those 4 guys? Jokic, we know what he's going to do, but Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., and Jamal Murray, when they won that championship, many Laker fans know this. They're just such an incredible headache trying to stop all 4 of those players. Those are going to be the key guys. And then give the Clippers. I mean, Kawhi Leonard shot 15 of 19 in an NBA playoff game. I mean, I don't. You can't get any more efficient than that. He's hitting tough shots everywhere you look. James Harden has, certainly had an unbelievable career. Norman Powell, I believe a San Diego native from Lincoln, he's had a phenomenal season as well. So give the Clippers a ton of credit as well. They also look like a team. It doesn't even feel like this should be a first-round matchup between these two teams, but that's how tough the West is.
Alan, appreciate your time as always, man. We'll chat again soon. Follow Alan on YouTube. Hoops Talk with Alan Sleewalt does a great job breaking down the lead. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you, fellas. Padres, get healthy.
I know. What the hell, man?
Can they have? How many
6-0.
more injuries can they have? I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Alan Slewa, always a Padres fan at heart. That's true. He can cover the NBA for as long as he wants. He will come back to the pods every single time. There he goes. Good show today, Sammy. Coach, Alan, bringing some knowledge, bringing some info.
Oh yeah,
Big J journalism today.
Well, we're not done. We got one more segment.
I know, but I mean the smart people have all left us now. It's just you and me left.
Yeah,
Sam. That's it.
We got to clean it up for one more segment.
All right, San Diego Sports 760. We will close this thing out coming up next. Thank you for being here.
San Diego Sports Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Caltrans. CleanCalifornia.com.
South 5 at La Costa, accident hasn't quite cleared out of lanes backed up from Palomar Airport Road. That's also a work zone. South 163 sluggish through Hillcrest. I'm Mark Zegan, San Diego traffic.
Would you like your community to be recognized as a beautiful and clean place to live? Help the place you love become a designated Clean California community. Take the pledge today at cleanca.com. 0 litter is the goal.
Good Feet Store, improving the quality of people's lives 2 feet at a time. Visit goodfeet.com.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's going to audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Dear employer.
My name is Phil Martin.
My name is Michael Raskovich.
Ronaldo Burr.
Zach Deiser.
I am writing to express my excitement at the opportunity to join your team.
As someone on the spectrum,
I may communicate in ways that are different from what you're used to.
I possess a unique set of skills
that sets me apart from other candidates. Thank you for your consideration.
An autistic inclusive workplace is good for business. It's time to make a change. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/win.
April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month. It's time to highlight the importance of families and communities in preventing child abuse and neglect, which can have lasting effects on a child's mental, emotional, and physical well-being. Let's all do our part in creating safer, supportive environments where kids can thrive. Sometimes support is as simple as helping a family connect with services like food, medical care, or mental health support. If you need resources, visit the County of San Diego Child and Family Wellbeing website and leave a comment.
News trending now on AM 600 Kogo.
From the Kogo News Center, I'm Veronica Carter. The head of the EPA says Mexico needs to clean up the sewage faster. Oceanside police want to add more drones. And Alaska Air adding flights from San Diego to Phoenix, Denver, Chicago, and Vegas.
These stories and more on San Diego's News Radio 600 Kogo and Kogo.com. Brought to you by San Diego County Credit Union.
SDCCU's checking accounts are awesome. Check your balance anywhere with the mobile app and use your debit card everywhere you shop. For a limited time, open a free checking with eStatements account in branch, and you'll receive a free ticket to Legoland California Resort. Find out more at sdccu.com/Legoland.
Sarah Spain for iHeart Women's Sports, presented by Capital One.
The AFC has announced that their August 23rd game against the Washington Spirit will be held at Oracle Park, home of baseball's San Francisco Giants. They'll be the first professional women's team to play at the ballpark, and the team hopes to attract an NWSL record 40,000 plus fans. The game will be broadcast nationally on CBS. For more women's sports stories, subscribe to Good Game with Sarah Spain on iHeart Podcasts.
Capital One is a founding partner of iHeart Women's Sports Network. The Capital One Venture X business card has no preset spending limit, so the card's purchasing power can adapt to meet business needs. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/VentureXBusiness for details.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. The Dallas Cowboys say they're all in. They've been saying this for a while, but when all in leads to missing the playoffs and, well, a quiet offseason, you might start to ask, what does that mean? This week, we may get a clearer answer. rumors swirling the Cowboys exploring trading up in the draft. And suddenly, it makes a little more sense. Dallas is tight on cap space, just over $30 million to work with. A free agent splash that fans were hoping for never came to fruition. But the draft, that's different. Rookie contracts don't break the bank, and with 10 total picks, Dallas has the ammo to move up the board and make a real move. And remember, Jerry Jones loves to trade. Since taking over in 1989, the Cowboys have made 72 draft day trades, more than any other team in football. So don't be surprised if he rolls the dice again. Because if this version of All In is going to mean anything, it better start this week. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. We're here in Green Bay talking football, but let me shift gears for a second. If you're playing pickleball in your running shoes, we need to talk. Tyrol pickleball shoes make the only shoe that's truly built for the sport. It's spelled Tyrol. They're not tennis shoes rebranded or cross trainers pretending they can handle the court. Tyrol pickleball shoes are the best. Lateral movement, quick stops, long rallies. You get something special. It's a Vibram outsole that grips hard, a wide toe box for comfort, airflow that keeps your feet cool even when the match heats up. They're tough, they're lightweight, they're so solid on your feet. Every detail is built to help you play better and not just look good doing it. So if you're serious about the game, do yourself a favor. Go to TyrolPickleball.com. Look like a pro, play like a pro with Tyrol pickleball shoes. Draft a pair of them for yourself. You don't need to wait for the commissioner to call your name. Tyrol pickleball shoes. Purpose built for pickleball.
Tonight, 6 o'clock right here on San Diego Sports 760. It is SDFC Midweek Live here from the head coach, Mikey Barris, as well as interviews with players and coaches. Find out the latest club and MLS information hosted by Darren Smith. SDFC Midweek Live every Wednesday at 6 o'clock right here on your home for SDFC San Diego Sports 760. We did a lot today, man. Talked a ton of NFL draft as that's coming up. The Titans are on the clock. They've been on the clock since the end of the last regular season. We talked about the Padres with Coach Kentera after a 6-0 loss today out in Detroit. If you missed any of it, please do catch up on the free iHeartRadio app. Just search Fletch Zone on San Diego or Fletch Zone on the free iHeartRadio app, and you can find it there. By the way, iHeartRadio app just got voted #1 in all of podcasting at the Webby Awards. Congrats to all our iHeart brethren.
Yes, sir.
Maybe next year, San Diego Sports 760. I don't know. Fletch and Sammy, we could end up getting a little nom. That'd be pretty cool.
Maybe we'll speak like Frankie and them. They go to the iHeart Music Awards.
We're not Frankie V cool yet. We will be.
We're not. Everyone's trying to be Frankie V.
I don't know, 40, 50 years from now, maybe you and I can
That
get
dude
there.
has 5 radio shows, and he does stand up at night, and he does this guy, and he's having a kid. I mean, this guy's
You got marry him already, Sammy. I have 2 radio shows. Is that not enough for you?
No, Frankie's cooler than you. Yeah, Frankie is definitely cooler than you.
He does have the cool factor. All right, before we get out of here, new trailer just dropped in the world of movies. Alien versus Predator, Alien movies. You fan of those?
This is bad. I've never seen them.
I mean, that's okay. It's not like it's
I know.
I love them. They're kind of goofy. I love the Arnold Schwarzenegger one back in the day, the Predator movie. It's perfect. It's like a perfect movie for me because it's so over the top goofy. It's like LeBron when he gets a little eyelash on his face and he has to fall down.
Gotta
for
get
10
that
minutes.
call, baby.
They are ridiculous and absurd, but I really like them. I think they're fun. And I think that the way they're evolving the universe is actually pretty cool. Like last year, they had the movie that was, I believe, a Hulu only release. It may have been 2 or 3 years ago at this point. Called Prey, which followed a little girl who all of a sudden befriends one of the Predator guys. And then it goes into Alien Romulus, which came out on Hulu this year, which was really good. The next step, they're doing a Predator protagonist story where it's on their world.
So this is like a Freddy versus Jason kind of thing?
A little bit, but it's more think Bourne Ultimatum, but it's Predator instead of Matt Damon. I'm so in, man. The trailer looks amazing. It just dropped a couple hours ago. Make sure you go check it out.
I still haven't seen Sinners yet. That's apparently the highest rated movie of all time or something.
I've been trying to convince my wife for 3 days now to let me go to the movies or to go with her. I want to take her to the movies, and she always comes up with a reason not to.
Damn. Come on, Kendall.
I know, man.
Let's go to the movies.
She doesn't care about movies nearly as much as I do. I don't know that anyone actually
I don't
does.
understand that. I have friends like that who I've convinced now to like movies. Like I have some friends that like just don't like movies. I'm like, movies are like my favorite thing.
I just love going to a movie theater.
Yes, that is an experience of you get the popcorn, get a little junior mints.
Thank you. You get it.
You get a
But
beer.
yeah, I want to see that, and I want to see Warfare really bad too. Warfare looks amazing. The new movie from A24. Now, if everyone's not caught up, Sammy, we got to be a little careful with this one. But Last of Us Season 2, Episode 2, we've given you a few days now. Sammy, are you emotionally wrecked after that one?
Well, I don't want to spoil anything.
We're
But
not
yeah.
spoiling anything, but
Yeah,
are you emotionally wrecked?
It was an intense episode.
I think I went on record saying it was like the best episode of TV I've seen since Battle of the Bastards.
It was very like, a show is great when it's your heart's pounding through the whole thing because you don't know what's going to happen.
And when you can't stop breathing for like 15 minutes after the episode, like I couldn't start my breath into a regular pattern afterwards. I thought it was great. My wife was making fun of me for like 30 minutes because I just kept pacing, walking
Kendra
around.
wasn't feeling Last of Us?
No, she sits on her phone and watches TikTok while I'm watching whatever is on TV.
TikTok is just
619. Answering our question about the Padres a little bit earlier. Not worried about the Pods with the major bats missing, but it's certainly proof that we lack depth. This isn't breaking news. We knew this going into the season from SoCal Jayhawk. That's a good one. 858. The boys are going to be rolling out a spring training lineup for at least another week. Just have to try and weather the storm. 858. Can't judge the Padres right now because of all the injuries, but no, I'm not worried. I think that's the camp I fall into. Look, you're without Jackson Merrill, potential all-star. You're without Jake Cronenworth, who's been a steadying force really at that 6-hole position. And you're without Luis Ariz right now, who's one of the best contact hitters in all of baseball. That's tough to weather, right? Not to mention the Yu Darvish, Joe Musgrove injuries that we kind of knew about coming into the season. They're not in grade A position right now. Absolutely. But they got to figure out a way to win some of these games on the road, man. And the numbers are alarming on the road.
Yeah, the injuries obviously are a major concern. I totally agree with all these texters, but I do think there is something to the fact that the pitching staff gets a little bit exposed when they're on the road. John Schaefer and Jim are itching to get on the air, breaking into the studio.
Jim has one good tweet, and all of a sudden he needs to run in. Pretty solid. If you go Jim Russell SD on Twitter, he's got a solid one up. All right, that's it for me and Sammy today. John and Jim coming up next. We will see you tomorrow.
It's SDFC Midweek Live. Get the latest news and analysis from our home team